is so good.
Thanks,
it's so fun to watch. Welcome, Larnell Studios.
Hey, people.
It took us a while to get the schedule in, but we finally got it. He's all over the place. After this, you say you're going on tour with Snarky Puppy.
I am.
In Germany.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he's out here with us today to give us, this is kind of a free online event. And then for Edge members, we have tomorrow, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, and we're going to go a little bit more in depth in those lessons as well. And so it's going to be a fun time having you out here. I know I'm here as a student just as much as I am as a host. So I love just chatting with you about drum stuff and the things that your approach, because it is very different. I think this is what I always say, like what separates the good drummers from the pros is like you seem to have more levels and more like layers to your playing, and whereas like a normal drummer will have like 1, 2, 3, or small, medium, large, you'll have like 10 different things, and you can just kind of like go in between those. And so I love picking the brain of a pro like yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, my brain is yours to pick.
So this is the first in a gospel drumming series. This is number 1, and so you basically he's actually prepared a track, and that's the track you just played.
Yeah, the last track is the track you just.
And so this is all kind of about for you drummers who want to play in church. Like I grew up playing in church. I think my first church thing was when I was 16.
Nice.
Yours is probably 2. But a lot of us play in church, and there's so many. It takes a different mindset and a different way of playing than if you were to play in a club or you were playing like every venue kind of requires that. And so I think it's really cool that we get to touch on it here in Drumeo, and especially with a guy like Larnell who seems to have it all figured out.
Oh man. I'm still learning myself.
Cool. One question: are we going to be able to get that track you just played for like the drumless version?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it with a bunch of producer guys. We're going to see what we can do to get you guys some play-alongs that actually will allow you to exercise and stretch at home over gospel music. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and so for those of you here, and whether you're watching it in the archives or here, there is a PDF below. We didn't display it because the PDF is for all 3 gospel lessons that we're doing, and so you just go ahead and kind of download that package, and you can follow along there. But let's just jump right into it. Into Holy, 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 and that's an arrangement you put together.
Yeah. It's an arrangement of a hymnal, a song from a hymn book called Holy, 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 and I guess through these next few days, if you join me or join us, we'll be going through a couple of standard songs that you'll encounter while playing in church, and just kind of talk about the approach and talk about what to do, what not to do, when to do, what to do, those kinds of things, because it's definitely about timing, no pun intended, and understanding what the music is about, what it's for, what the atmosphere you're trying to create. So we'll get into a couple of those things right now with Holy, Holy, Holy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, go. I'm just letting you go, man, because I'm here as a student too.
So we'll jump in. You'll see the beginning of the song. It starts off with a very basic pattern. For you guys who have your sheet, it'll actually be number 1. Okay. All right, basic verse pattern. And I'm just using cross stick. Actually, basic pattern, verse pattern 1 and 2, they happen within the same verse. So the first half is, as you can see on the chart, cross stick on B4, and then I'll play that for you, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
That's basic pattern number 1. Number 2, we'll put the cross stick on beat 2 as well as beat 4. There we go. so I chose those two for the beginning of the song, specifically basic pattern number 1, because out the gate with a song that starts off as delicately as that, you can hear piano, a little bit of organ, a very nice, lush, like full sounding intro, but it's not big. So you don't want to come in with anything in terms of the bass pattern for that section of the song. You don't want to be too abrasive. You don't want to be too overbearing, and you want to be sensitive. For me, what I found with playing in church is that it's important that you're sensitive. You're what's happening at the moment. You're sensitive to what's happening in the music. You're sensitive to whoever's leading, and you're listening to what's going on, because as people feel it, they might rise and fall with dynamics. So I chose to start off the song with only cross stick on beat 4, because I felt that playing it on beat 4, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, I felt that would still allow for forward motion to happen in the song. If I didn't play anything, I would probably play hi-hat on 2 and 4 sometimes, but for the sake of that song and that particular example, I felt that cross stick on 4 made the most sense to leave it as open as possible without sacrificing the forward motion. And then when you need to take it up a notch, you can add cross stick on beat 2.
And when you first hear a song, like I always would think, okay, I don't want to just like go all out in the beginning because the song's going to sound like this.
Yeah.
At one level, I always like to have some sort of dynamic. Think about the long term of the song.
Absolutely.
And that's where I always used a ton of cross stick. But do you think that in gospel music in general, you use more of that cross stick type feel than in other styles of music necessarily?
I wouldn't say more than other styles. I would just say that how I came across it was inside of gospel music, and I found that approach to be effective in other styles. So you might see something similar to that in pop music, where sometimes they might do cross stick on beat 2 and a snare on beat 4.
Yeah, that's true.
So you'll find that even with gospel music, it shares, similar approaches to other styles in terms of how to create that dynamic flow or how to pace yourself.
Yeah. Can you also talk about the hi-hat dynamics you're doing in that part? Because you're doing a few different things, and exactly why you chose that pattern as opposed to just. I mean, I probably would have simplified it because I couldn't play it as good as that. But I would have just done a straight A.
What I would say for the hi-hat pattern, again, it's about what I've learned over time from playing different styles of music is that you can create the ebbs and flows or the dynamics. You can allow dynamics to up and down, or the aggression of a song to move up and down, or the forward motion to move forward, or to the song to feel like it's resting based on how many subdivisions you're putting in, right? So I wanted it to have this kind of like
not to,
exactly.
It's kind of like the wheel turning, right? Yeah, I never like that. Rather than
it just creates space, and I found that when you do something like that, like the melody can breathe more. The other players have a chance to kind of fill up those spaces and do whatever it is that's necessary, or to do nothing at all.
Cool. All right. So should we move on to the next?
Yeah, let's move to the next part. So, did a nice pop ballad fill. Snare and toms to take me to the ride cymbal. One thing I had to learn was when to go to the ride cymbal. It is possible to go to the ride cymbal too early. It's also possible to go to the ride cymbal too late. And it's all dependent on what's happening in the music. Before I played pattern, I will explain that I mostly used the body of the cymbal before utilizing the bell, which I saved for later on, so I had somewhere to go again, building it up in levels. So I'll get into the basic pattern for the I guess you could say it's the second time around. So ride and snare, this would be number 3. that was number 3. Same as the hi-hat, I was choosing what beats were going to be strong and weak. So again, still creating that flow, creating that flow. I'm a lot more aggressive with my snare drum, and I'm just accenting as soon as I hit the bell, just like the edge of the hi-hat, accenting quarter notes, and the other 16th notes were played with the tip of the stick, similar to the body of the record.
Yeah, so you get 2 different timbres.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. And from, let's say every song like kind of starts in the hi-hat and you want to have this build, and I know it's common in every song, so it's hard to say, oh, it's just gospel drums. We were talking about this before. But I know from growing up playing in church that you want to have that, even though it's almost more so in songs, there's less of them start really heavy and stuff like that. Always to the ride, or majority of times to the ride, or sometimes do you bring it up in a different way?
Yeah, sometimes it really just depends on your situation.
Yeah.
It depends on the arrangement. It depends on what it is that you're trying to do. So let's take that pattern, for example. Let's take pattern number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So crossing on tune 4.
Okay.
What I'll do is to bring it up another level. I'll play snare, and then I might go into something like an open hi-hat thing.
Okay.
Eventually near the end. So we'll see how it shapes up towards the end. Here we go.